one of the things that we noticed, I noticed when I was editing, and then we gave it to the assistant editor to do, was the energy and the fun that you were having, the two of you, while you were reliving these different characters. Now, not to I don't want to give too much away because I'd love people to read this interview, but
Read the interview, folks.
that's right. But there was so many characters, like we talked about Pat Savage, and she's a big influence on this first volume of Soul Scream. But you also talked about Annie Oakley.
Mm-hmm.
Without going into her background, because you do so well in the interview, why'd you love Annie Oakley so much?
I think part of the boys' life of my generation was, you get cranky around girls not being able to do this and not being able to do that, or at least that's what you were told. That's what
Right.
you were led to believe, right? They couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. And so I was watching movies where the women were constantly fainting or screaming while the guy's being jumped by 5 or 6 guys. They're cowering in corners. And it's that cranky kid thing and boy thing in you that goes, why didn't she help him? Why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that? Well, Annie did that.
Right. Right.
Annie packed a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Annie could ride a horse. Annie could rope. Annie was also, in terms of her episodes, was also the thinker. She
Right.
was the one who would reason things out or use common sense or even follow clues
Right.
that Lofty, her muscular deputy and the hunk that wanted her, Lofty is like, duh. He was almost like Moose in Archie. He was there to do the fight scenes. That was it.
Yeah.
And Tag, her 11-year-old little brother, was there to get precocious and get in trouble and be rescued or find out stuff or sometimes do something that helped Annie or Lofty get out of a situation. So he was a little bit comic relief, but he was also there for the kids to connect to.
Yeah.
Well, I connected to Tag in that, yeah, I would be the little brother running around. But Annie was the big sister that could handle stuff.
Right.
And that was fun for me. She wasn't fainting. She wasn't cowering in the corner. And she was she took the initiative and would make stuff happen. And that was fine. And I would tie that into very clearly, even though my mother didn't carry a 6-shooter or ride a horse or any of those things, my mother and my grandmother raised me. And both of these were women of will
Yep.
and prominence and pride and to some degree authority within the limited realms that they were moving. And so I didn't understand weak women.
Right.
That's in my
And thus
real
you were
life that
attracted to
didn't
people
exist.
like, yeah. And thus you're attracted to the characters that you talk about in this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologize to Alex, because I just tricked him into demonstrating the kind of enthusiasm that he brings to this interview and the kind of love for these characters that you'll see in Soul Scream Antholozine Volume 1. Alex, thanks for talking to me for a minute, and I hope people come and enjoy your interview. You and Teel did such a great job.
It
I
was
am
fun talking
honored
with
to
you
have you
too.
in the pages.
Thank
So,
you very much, Chris.
all right, we'll talk to you soon. Peace.